Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. I wanted to create a quick video on essentially an update in my life and an update to, I guess, like all of the different content that I will be pretty much creating from this point out. So the biggest update is if you follow me on Twitter, if you've seen the different updates going on, you would see that I just recently took a developer relations role at Octopus Deploy. And if you're not familiar with Octopus Deploy, it's a really, really solid continuous deployment and automation tool. I mean, it can literally automate any type of deployment in pretty much any environment. So it's definitely a solid product. I really love it. I've been talking with the Octopus Deploy team for a really long time. I've, not worked with employees there, but, I've had tons of conversations with them around different development topics, around different deployment topics. So I'm really excited about it. One of the things that like always made me not hate my full-time roles that I've had, but always want something more was the fact that, and I learned this later, was that, what I thought 100% was other people 70% or 80%. So I always just felt not satisfied. I guess that's the word for it. So, what kind of brought me here, and that's really what I wanted to talk about in this video. So I want to like take a step back and I want to go all the way back to the beginning. So when I graduated school, I got my first job and it was like a help desk junior sysadmin type of role. I say junior sysadmin just because I was touching servers and stuff, but it was like at a really small scale, like managing backups and stuff like that, a little bit of Active Directory and all that. And then after that, I moved into more of like a sysadmin type of role where I was managing a ton of servers and stuff. And I was still, doing desktop support and help desk and building machines and stuff like that. As I started to progress, I started to learn a ton of PowerShell. I was doing a ton of automation. I was working in Azure. I was working in AWS. And then that kind of brought me to like a senior infrastructure, senior cloud engineer type of role. And that's where I started to do even more development. I was writing Python APIs, little ones. I wasn't writing like the next Twitter or something like that. But I was writing, Python code. I was writing PowerShell code, Ansible code, well, YAML. So it really brought me to this point where I had to kind of pick. So I had some infrastructure background. I had some development and primarily like automation code and stuff like that. So, I felt like the next logical step was a DevOps role or like a DevOps engineer, right? There's a ton of different people that are going to say like DevOps is a role and stuff like that. I agree to more extents than others, probably. So, but I took the role because it was really interesting and it was like what I wanted to work on. I wanted to work on CI/CD. I wanted to work on deployments. I wanted to work on automation. And in the same company, what ended up happening was I ended up becoming a lead DevOps engineer. In the company that I was in, a lead was like a director level role almost, but I was still very much technical. I was like 80% technical, 20% management, essentially. And then after that, I really started to find my passion, and my passion was development, infrastructure, cloud deployments. I love like the whole deployment aspect. I love automating the deployments. I love developing, I love continuous deployment. I love continuous delivery, the CI process, well, continuous integration. I love all of it, especially in the cloud space. I've worked a lot on-prem as well, and I've done CI/CD for on-prem, but I really love the cloud space. And with that, I, I wanted to start giving back. I felt like I was in a place where I had enough background to start giving back. I don't think I'm in any way like I'm never going to be like I'm the best at this or anything like that. I don't think it works that way because I think that there's always progression that you can take no matter what. There's always a way to get better. And I think that's why like a lot of people like this field because there's always a way to progress. There's always a way to do more and to get better. And it's fun. I mean, if you're passionate about it, you can sit there all day and doing it. I'm recording this video on a Sunday. I was just doing some Docker image stuff with a Python Flask API that I wrote, and I'm doing that on a Sunday because I love it. I love what I do. It's just super interesting to me. And because of that, like I said, I wanted to start giving back. And what that pretty much meant was video courses, videos just without courses, blogs, uh, speaking at conferences, doing anything like that. And this was when I, started Cloud Dev Engineering, and I left my full-time job and I started doing my own business full time. And then over the past 6 months since I've done that, I was really, just writing a ton of content, doing a ton of videos. If you guys have CBT Nuggets, I have a course out there, a professional DevOps course in Azure. It's I really loved it. Like I really loved giving back. I really love the fact that I could like make video courses, I could make blogs, and I learned that aspect. I learned, because doing a video and doing a recording and all that, like it's not easy. Writing is an absolute art. I mean, it's hours and hours of time getting like yourself to be a decent writer. It's definitely not easy. So at that point, I was like, I really love this. I really love the advocacy portion. I really love the evangelist portion. I love being able to write code, write a little application, write some deployments, write some automation, and then share it with you. I think that's like, I think I really love, I don't think, I know that I really, really love that part. I really love the fact that I can share it out. So then I started to have a few different conversations with Octopus Deploy, and now here I am taking a full-time gig with Octopus Deploy. I'm really, really excited about it. Like I said in the beginning of the video, it's a developer relations role, DevRel, if you've heard of that. It's pretty much the same as like a cloud advocate, a developer advocate, a technical evangelist. From what I've read, like technical evangelist is like not the professional term because DevRel and Cloud Advocate are the same, but that's like really like what it mashes into is like that evangelist type, which is obviously really cool. So I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited to be working with a company like them because I know that their 100% is also what I consider 100%. I'm definitely not going to find myself in that way that like, I'm going to be unhappy or anything. Like I don't see that happening because they believe in the product. They work very hard on the product. And I'm not just saying this because I'm there because like, if you look at my other blog posts and stuff and if you looked at other content that I've done, I've already done a ton of content around Octopus Deploy. I even wrote a PowerShell wrapper around their API like 5 or 6 months ago, actually maybe a little bit longer. So I've been playing with Octopus Deploy for a really long time, and like I continue to find myself back in that deployment aspect because it's a super good product. Like I really love it. It's really, really enjoyable to use. It's easy to use. They have the documentation is awesome too. Like I personally feel like DigitalOcean has like the best documentation, and Octopus Deploy as well has the best documentation. I mean, it's very easy to follow. It's very easy to get through. It's very easy to read. It's straightforward. There's no fluff, and it feels good when you read it. So what does this mean for me, and what's changing? Well, probably not a lot. I'm obviously going to be creating a ton more content. If you're not familiar with like evangelist, advocate, DevRel type of roles, really what it is you're a developer, or you're an infrastructure engineer, or you're a CI/CD enthusiast, or like anything. Like you're the person that loves the technology that you're working with and the product or products that you're working with. And what you're doing is you're writing deployments, you're writing code, you're testing stuff out, you're creating scenarios, and then you're sharing it with the world. So videos, courses, blogs, conferences, YouTube, anything that you can do to share the wealth essentially and to make people realize how cool the product or products are. The other really cool thing about Octopus Deploy is my content isn't going to be just around Octopus. It's going to be around Azure. It's going to be around AWS. It's going to be around PowerShell. It's going to be around HCL and Terraform. So it's not going to be just a ton of content on Octopus. It's going to be, how does Octopus work with all these other technologies? Because Octopus has like a ton of different plugins. Like, for example, there's ways to deploy from Azure DevOps to Octopus Deploy. There's a way to deploy from Jenkins. There's a Jenkins plugin. There's a ton of different stuff. So my world isn't going to change too much, honestly. And that's obviously very good for you and everybody that's watching and everybody that reads my content and views my content, because you're not going to see much difference. I mean, you're definitely going to see more Octopus stuff, but it's not going to be like just 100% Octopus. You're still going to get a lot of different content from me. In terms of the YouTube channel, I'm still very much going to follow that path of like learning how to program. So I have the Python course going on right now, and it's like a 7-part course, or like 7 videos, one course. And then I'm going to do either like Terraform or PowerShell after that, or something like that. And then we're going to start to break down different scenarios using different automation tools and different programming tools. So I hope that you like this update. I hope that you're excited about it. I'm excited about it. I'm really happy to get out there and really work with a company that is, in my opinion, very, very solid. And I'm very excited to see where they go from here. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.